Our universe contains infinite stories, most of which are about rocks and ice at sub-zero temperatures in a vacuum. Rather boring. However, on a small damp rock, there is a story that bears a second look. It's your story. But the first 4 billion years or so mostly concern amino acids. Not much of a page turner. But then, over time, the amino acids bond together and things start to get interesting and a bit drier. A certain subspecies of hominid discovers that you can do more with a sharp rock than annoy your little brother. Tools and weapons are invented. The hominids begin to cooperate. Fire becomes a servant rather than an unpredictable force of nature. They learn to tan the skins of animals for clothing. They learn ways to record and probably exaggerate their adventures. Eventually, these tribes learn to build shelters and immediately hold the first barbecue parties. This is the dawn of humankind. Struggle and cooperation have been rewarded. The Neolithic era draws to a close. The whole world beckons. This tribe has come far, but the rest of their story is your story. You are the one who will build them into a great civilization. How far will you push humankind? Another day, another dawn of humankind. It is time to finish breakfast, give a rousing speech, and leap into the future.
It's time to start? I think so. The dawn of humankind. To move beyond the Neolithic era, you must earn at least one era star, either through food, science, or hunting animals, which we are not going to be doing. And once we've accumulated enough influence, we'll be able to build an outpost and claim a territory. Now, you might be thinking, this game looks a lot like Civilization, and as someone who's played Civila, I think that was mostly a strategy game I played when I was younger. You know, I've played more advanced strategy games what I'd consider more advanced anyway. Hearts of Iron 4, Victoria 2 is crazy in the amount of micromanaging you can do. So that's why I like to play these kind of strategy games, because they're a lot more approachable. And especially with Civ, it's a game I like to play a lot with my friends when I was growing up in school. While I was growing up, and it was because, you know, it was a very approachable strategy game. So although I have a soft spot for Europa Universalis 4, Hearts of Iron, or Vicky 2, I've never played Crusader Kings. That one looked a little too advanced for me. I know that's saying a lot. That's why we stick with these kind of games. So Humankind starts us out a little bit different than Civ, and that's kind of what I like about it, is that we start off right in the Neolithic era instead of just right into settling a city. And, you know, that's a lot more interesting, because I think this game is a lot more, to me, about what I think the developers were trying to intend was it's more for like storytelling, or at least that's what I like it for. The point of the game is to rewrite history, and regardless so we'll get into a lot more of it as we go, but let's just start right now we're going to want to start exploring. So we'll put this guy on, I would put them on auto explore, but we only have one of them, so we might as well just bring him here.
Even those who have disappeared may have done something very clever.
And we get our first curiosity, which will give us some bonus. Of course, we're looking for research, and if we can get another bonus star by having population, that would be great. So we'll just move this guy over here, and we'll have to wait till next turn. So on, so on. So, you know, it's a turn system. Instead of like in Europa Universalis 4 where it's real time, and it makes it a lot more easy to get lost, I would say, in how much time you spend in the game. So we put this person on auto explore because we'll take them right off, because there's nothing over here. You're just gotta kind of hope you get luck in this era. Usually what I try to do is pray that I can get there's a specific event that you can get in this era that allows you to choose like almost like a slight bonus for the rest of the game, and I try to go for that always. It's definitely worth your time if you can. Oh, we should no 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 no. Yeah, definitely don't have hesitations, but it looks like we've got a notice. Seed of an idea. Yesterday, the tribe came across a vast tract of wild grain, the stalks swaying in the breeze like the wind playing over golden waters. The ground down grain could feed the tribe twice over, but one of the tribal elders had another idea. Instead of pounding the seeds into flour, she suggests planting half of them, so the grasses may return next summer. It is a curious idea, at odds with the nomadic life, but perhaps a harbinger of the future. A harbinger of the future. What should you do? Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think we're gonna go with plant. I think we're gonna take the hit right now and for a little bit for the domestication cost reduction when we eventually reach that.
Delicious.
But yeah,
Though
we're gonna
next
definitely
time,
want to go for
it
food
might
so we
be
can get more
better if you
people,
washed it
and
first.
we can. So these are the other. We have 3 competitors we're playing against. We want to try to see where they are if we can. No, not yet. Okay. All right, all right. So one of the things that drew me to Humankind, I guess I should talk about that. Like, because I haven't played Civ in a long time, and I was kind of okay. Well, I mean, I mostly played Civ 5, and when Civ 6 came out, I saw its graphics, and I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I had just gotten off from I played The Sims 3 a lot as well, and I had just gotten The Sims 4 and realized how much of a downgrade it was, both in terms of how its graphics looked, and it felt like for me, Civ 5 went to Civ 6 felt the same way. And even if Civ 6 is an objectively good game, and I'm sure it is, I think it has introduced some pretty interesting ideas that a lot of other games, like maybe Humankind, have influenced from or have borrowed through Civ's influence. But I just think that those graphics really turned me off, especially because I had just gotten burned by The Sims 4. And The Sims 4 is still a hot mess. Would not recommend it. The Sims 3, though, even though it's kind of old, I think it still holds up pretty well. I haven't played that in a little bit too, but I think it's still a pretty good game. But all right, well, we're not playing The Sims right now. We're playing Humankind, and we just gotta go to the next turn and hope. Oh, someone reached the next era, and that's fine, so long as no one reaches the next. So long as no one takes the culture we want from us. So we might be a little behind. But so long as no one, we want to play as, I usually play as the Hairpins, or however you want to pronounce them. They also might be known as the Indus Valley Civilization, if that sounds more familiar to you. That's how I learned them in high school. Well, oh yeah, I think the only time I learned about them was in high school. Okay, so now that we have 2 of these people, we definitely want to split them up. So we're gonna have one go over here, and we're actually gonna have one go to that science right there. Take a pass on the food for now. And okay, so no one has advanced through. Here's our next event, a world aflame. In the distance, a thin cord of smoke cuts up into clear blue skies. Fire. Calling a few tribesmen, you run closer. The smell of cindered bark and burning pine growing stronger with each footfall. You spy dancing flames and suddenly find yourselves on the edge of a settlement on fire. Many of the structures are ablaze, but even with the smoke and flames, you see these abodes are marvels of craftsmanship. You are about to direct your men to put out the fires with loose soil when you see short, shadowed figures running away. Use. They could become a part of your tribe if you give the chase now. But that would mean losing these secrets of construction. What is your choice? So we could chase them, or we could extinguish, get the city defense research cost. Always going to be a man for research, so extinguish we will. And we're going to, well, we'll have to wait till the next turn, but science, and that's our era star. And we got our event, so that's good. Tribe's legacy. You stand at a crossroads. For many moons, the tribe has trekked into the wilderness slowly, tortuously, learning the secrets of this world. How the materials hidden in the deep places and in plain sight might be fashioned to the tribe's advantage. How the beasts and plants of the land and seas can be most fruitfully harvested. And how myths and stories can glacially but inescapably give power over our greatest enemies, other tribes. Now you must decide in what domain the tribe will truly sharpen its knowledge for ages to come. Well, for the ages to come. Will you be renowned as makers, farmers, or charmers? Charmers? Well, we have our choices here. Makers, which will add wattle and daub, and we will get +1 industry per population per city or outpost. So, and that this is for the future. This is forever. So we get to choose a slight bonus for the Neolithic tribe. So I like to think about it as like, like the Neolithic culture, if you will. Or we could be farmers as well, plant lore, +1 food per population. But I think we're going to pick storytellers, +1 science per population. Confirm. And we are going to let's grab that first. While it's there, we might as well. And if there's anything else around. Oh, something so close by. Okay. Well, we're going to choose our culture. Thankfully, no one has taken ours. Awesome. So we're going to be the hairpins. What I like about them is the canal network that makes any city that's not on a river basically act like a city that's on a river. It's the same thing from, I think there's a similar thing in Civilization. Well, even if there's not, this is definitely what I like. It just makes it so that non-river cities are river cities. And as we all know, rivers definitely make things a lot better, but they also give you a good bonus for food. And I think it's really important early on to just boost our population up so that later eras we have tons of people to do stuff with. So here we are. Firm.
The challenges of a young civilization. It's hard keeping up with the neighbors when they have the wheel.
We'll watch our little cutscene, of course.
Humankind learns quickly that everyone contributes. If you're terrified of wild animals, you can grow lentils or catch fish.
Well, yes.
Tribes settle towns. Towns develop markets, and markets begin the exchange of goods, services, and most important,
well, yes.
rumors and hearsay.
Ah, yes. Good old gossip.
While the Harappans certainly had markets, they left few remains. Please
welcome to the ancient era as the Harappans. And someone also became the Egyptians, and we can build our first outpost. And maybe we should have gotten one of those started already, but we also did find a mount. I'm not going to pronounce that. I'm sorry. I should really look these things up before I start recording, but Gorama. It's a nice looking mountain though. What does it give us as a benefit? Okay, all right, that's not too bad. So we'll build our first outpost. Well, I guess we'll put it right here. Well, yeah, I guess that's all right. That'll be our first outpost, and it'll be ready in 5 turns. All right. We can't afford another one, but we can keep exploring here, which is what we're gonna do. We're gonna put you on auto explore. There still will be curiosities around, so it's definitely still worth sending out your armies. I usually play this game as a pacifist, not gonna lie, but pacifism doesn't mean you have no troops. It means you have troops around all your cities so that no one will ever bother to mess with you. And especially in this game, it feels like the AI really, like, if you're more powerful than them, they will just leave you alone. So let's actually take a look at our fame. We actually are in first place. Well, actually, we're tied. Yeah, we're tied. We're definitely tied for first place. So that's not too bad. We're not, like, insanely behind. But we did get our bonus, which is nice. Pretty music aside, a lot has happened in a short amount of time. We have mapped our entire continent already. Wow. So we are on a little undisturbed continent, it looks like. We have our own, nice natural wonder. And right next to it, we have this nice sterile terrain. Yay. The what is it? the Atacama Sterile Terrain. Now, I mean, that's pretty cool because that's a pretty dope name, but that's a very disappointing. The land's still usable, but I mean, it's just like, it doesn't have any natural resources with it. But we do have a bunch of strategic resources over here, so that's not too bad. We also founded our first city, Etern. We are going to be naming our cities after all of my gods because that only seems fair. And we are, of course, going to have our own custom religion because through all the other ones. And, I mean, we actually have a pretty decent continent with we have a good amount of, a good spread of luxury resources and a lot of strategic resources. So I think we'll probably be fine. And since we don't unlock sailing for a little bit longer, we won't have to worry about anyone trying to, like, colonize our continent because I ain't going to be putting up with that. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to smash that like button. And maybe even clickety-clack on your keyboard. Leave a comment. Let me know what you thought. I'm Wolvlox, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.